You must be feeling pretty chipper at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. To start like that this season with this guy, it's been pretty special. He's the real deal, I have to say. The way he's managed it all, plus the stress of yesterday with having to do all those time attacks and everything else. He kept a level head. He had his little goals that he wanted to set to himself, and he hasn't got ahead of himself. So it's been a great start, to be honest.
Can I ask you what you first thought when you met him? Because you went from having a very established, firm relationship, one of the most experienced riders on the grid, to going to the other end of the scale. So what was your personal thoughts and feelings when they said, Pedro sort of landed in your orbit?
There's the age difference to start with that you sort of think, holy moly. And I've got a daughter 1 year younger than him, and you sort of think, okay, have I got that in me to do that? But what was the clear thing that when we first met was his honesty and his directness and straightness, and that part is something that I really appreciate in all my riders, or even in my general life. I like people who are straight. That's why I live in Holland, for example. So this trait was there straight away. I could see that we could really speak. He was a fantastic listener. He really wanted to be helped. He wanted to learn. So it honestly went much easier than I expected. Then our humour side of things is not that far away. You know what I mean? So we can have some fun. And he puts a lot of effort into his craft, And so, first of all, I got the respect of how he was as a human, and then the part that come from the riding and the willingness to learn and listen was another part. Like even after Valencia, I was like, oh, okay, this is a little bit too easy. What's happening, So this it's worked really, really well. I think we have a great bond here.
What was your thoughts during the tests? Did you think, okay, you could see the talent was there. I mean, obviously the education had to follow pretty quickly, but was it almost like a case in motocross where you just get the guy the base setting and then he kind of does the rest a little bit of what he understands and how he can manipulate it?
I've been in the paddock long enough to see how things happen with rookies, and I would say there's this cycle when you start. What I've seen, that there's a cycle when you start that you try to build the trust up by showing the guy that you can do the job. So what you start to do is start to change everything to make him happy and get him all sorted out, and then he sees that you are willing to work for him, and then you do it, But there's a circle that you should do, in my opinion, because you've got the guy who's going fast on the bike already. So you do this dance around the setting and you try to get back to there as quick as you can. I didn't do the dance at all because I said, here's the bike. This is what it is. I think let's go out there and ride. But he just accepted that and he just took it, and we've not really played with the bike. Still believe is that I still don't know where this limit is, because every time he gets on the bike, he just does things better. So, we did the thing in Sepang. I said, okay, let's not touch the bike. Yeah, cool, let's go out. He went out, okay, come back the next day. He said, okay, we've got the base, let's go out on the base bike, do the first run, see what happens. But boom, half a second quicker, you're like, okay, maybe we don't touch the bike again. Yeah, let's just keep working on like this and do. And then the next day, boom, So and we come here on a new track. It was going to be something that was interesting for me to see how we can adapt quickly to a new track at the same time with everyone else. And that was also, unbelievably easy, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying we're expecting to win everything, but you just know that he can adapt, and he, like a great rider, he also understands that the bike will never be perfect.
Is it interesting to see a guy with so many kind of contrasts, because he's so young but seems kind of mature in the way he handles things, but then also he's so inexperienced, but then he's a two-time world champion.
It's bloody mixture that you're sort of thinking, what the hell is this? It's like a guy put together from parts. I call him like an old soul with an old soul with a young body. You know what I mean? But if somebody asked me something today, it was quite interesting. I think it's like he's in the wrong generation. He's probably like us more as kids, you know what I mean, where we only learnt things by doing it, if you know what I mean. He didn't grow up in the modern world of understanding Google, Google and you get the answers of everything. But we, at our time, we did everything, and he sort of got that old worldly type of maturity that you don't find so often in young people anymore. And that part's kind of cool, because you just see this young goofy boy, and then all of a sudden he comes out with some statement, and you're like, damn, where'd that come from, So it's it is a nice trait that he has, But I guess it's parents, it's upbringing, it's these type of things is sure part of it, But he's a good kid.
Fear stating the bloody obvious. Testing is one thing, but coming to a race weekend is something else. Another environment for you and Pedro to work in and to discover.
For sure, the media thing is a big impact on him, because it's like, whoa, that's a lot of people asking a lot of stuff and a lot of time, So I think he would have, especially the first Grand Prix, there was a lot of interest, and his day was just completely packed on the Thursday, and I could see that starting to get its toll on him a little bit, you know, and the fact that he wanted to be more in the box, talking about how we're going to do things and everything like that. But then he can switch from this professional to go and do it and come back, you know. And we look at each other and we're like, okay, all good. And we're like, yeah, okay, now we can go, you know. And this weekend was a seriously tough weekend for all of us, because we had the rain, we had the PR, you know, the having to do all those time attacks in a row is not easy for even the most experienced, because it is stressful, you know. The people from... Wow, it was vicious, you know. I mean, I had a new data guy, I got a new tyre guy. They had to go through all that like the rider, and you could see the look in their eyes like, fucking hell, you know. And yeah, everyone was super nervous, but Pedro not. Pedro was super calm, and he just did his thing, you know. He said it was mentally tiring that day, much more than he could have imagined, but he said it was fantastic also, because he used it like a training. He said, I got all these shots of new tyres and I just got better and better. So
Paul, obviously we saw the race and we saw how much fun it was. I mean, Pedro was the person making things happen, but I'm curious to know, I don't know, were you worried at some points, or were you excited? How did you deal with it?
I think I probably had the biggest smile on my face I've had for a long time, you know. It was just really nice to watch, you know. It was like a kid out there, and you saw these big names and he was just out there. I don't think he was trying to show the world. He was just out there being Pedro, you know, and it made me laugh and smile. Worried, I just wanted him to do what he wanted to do and come back and be proud of himself, you know. That was the only thing, that I didn't want anything stupid to happen in that sense. But for the rest of it, it was a really enjoyable race to watch, you know. And yeah, it looked like he was having some fun.
Obviously, you had testing mileage here. Yep. That was a nice bedding in period. Sure. Do you think Portimao could be maybe tougher? I
mean, Portimao on a MotoGP bike is tough. You know, it's a physical, it's all the blinds. I would say that one and Austin would probably be the two toughest races to go to as an inexperienced guy on the MotoGP bike. So and they're both coming up next, exactly. So this part, I mean, like I said, I don't know what this kid what he can really do yet. You know, it's like I set a goal to get out of Sepang at a certain lap time. You know, he smashed that in the shakedown. So you're sort of like, okay, so what are we going to do now? And that's the part that I keep getting surprised by. So I don't expect it to be a walk in the park, either does he, but we go there with the idea of working our way through it and try to get there, you know.
It might be a bit of a silly question, but I saw the basis of your relationship with Paul founded on trust. Again, a good humanistic kind of relationship, but then also maximum effort. Yeah. Do you kind of see the seeds potentially of that again?
Yeah, I really do. You know, I mean, everyone on this paddock is talented at that, but there's something different in some of them. You know, I've had the pleasure of being in the Repsol Honda box for some years and working with Danny and having Casey on the other side of the garage, and then Mark coming in and seeing these guys who are real champions and how they, little details of how they do things. You know, and you think, fuck. You know, the dedication, the commitment, and I have to say, I see it again, you know, I really do. And if you make it or you don't is another story. But the work ethic, the way, the amount of want he wants, the reasoning why he's here, all these little conversations we have and stuff it is good to see. So I really do see, like you said, I love trust. I love, you know, I'm a guy, if I'm working, but if I'm having fun, I'm having fun, you know. And I like that trust and that human side of the job. And if I can have that and you have somebody as quick as this and with that potential, it should be a nice story, I think.